So by the end, JD's pretty acquiescing, asking about hotel recommendations, sweet as pie again. Pseudo mother-in-law backs out to kind of let him out. And the officer's still sitting there with us, and JD almost rips off the entire exhaust system trying to get out of there and out of the... There are two driveways. Where JD was parked is considered the old driveway for this property. It's the original driveway. And it kind of curves and goes up. But there's also a straight driveway, and it is newer, and worse. This is, as most people tell you, even four-wheel drives have a problem getting up this thing. So, when he backs out of the curvy one and the straight one, the concrete for the roadway comes down. And, he's in such a hurry, he almost rips off the exhaust, but he leaves. But JD struck us all so wrong that later that night, we went looking at all the hotels we had recommended. All the way out to Bayleton and Greenville. Seeing if we could see his vehicle, to make sure he was where he was supposed to be. And then he wasn't at any of those places. So as we're coming back through Four Beach Creek and back to this property, we check every hollow and every place we know of people to be able to park and squat and do whatever. He's nowhere. Which, trust me, is a few places down through there. Never could find him. So we just let it go. We go on back. And that's kind of the topic. And what's on our minds for at least a few hours. Until, right? And that's the big topic of discussion for everybody in Beach Creek and what's happening with that. And I honestly think I had done a video or two that day, that evening. I don't recall if they're open or not, but if they are, they're there, and they're just hours before Summer goes missing. So anyway, that was at least most of the interaction with JD. The guy was a little off. The only vehicle I saw parked there that day was the blue Trailblazer, older. The next day, as y'all seen and heard, things started changing, which we first took to be rumor, and I still, there are questions about things, even for we who were up close and personal with these situations and had visual on all of this for the duration. But all of these things, like I said, definitely came together to create this perfect storm that even 2.5 weeks before, well, because by this point, I just want to let you know, the tree cutters were there. JD was happening. Property, people still showing up. That even happened quite a bit even after JD left. Because after that, we've not seen JD again. At least I've not. And, that was just like 13 days ago that I was there. So, I do know that we spoke to JD. Voldemort did. The kids have, I believe that, and the lawyer he contacted, the conversation with that between Voldemort and JD's lawyer here, videotaped. So I don't know. I know that on JD's Facebook, he said he was here the next day. Something about biscuits and gravy or beer. I don't, and a dog, and that was it, kind of. But I think the lawyer wasn't talked to until like 2 days after Summer went missing, is the impression the lawyer gave on this video. So I'm not really sure how long JD was in town after the Ben Hill incident. I mean, you know, David Sherrills, that's, and most of me agrees. I don't think he's pretty low on my list. That's all I'm saying. I think he has his own separate issues. I think he's a little off. Definitely has maybe problems with women of some variety. Some anger issues of his own. I'm not real sure. Could have just been a situation. Could have been all kinds of things. But me personally, he's low on my list. So, I don't know. I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. I'm not the feds. They know what they know, and I just experienced what I experienced. So those are two entirely different things. It's their job to put these pieces together. Anyway, yeah. But JD did make it seem like, I don't know, this, when he first came in there, it was just over-exaggeration. He did lie about his age, made himself older than he actually was, by quite a bit. Kept mentioning how he was having problems moving and falling, but then I didn't really see that. I saw an exaggeration of that at certain points, so it was a little weird for me. I don't know. Whole thing struck me as weird. But JD had been in there for, obviously, quite a while, sawing, doing whatever. Did tell us that at one point, he had actually, because I think Voldemort had asked him if he'd even walked the property at first. He's like, no, and he was like, well, yeah, I came with a friend. But then it coincided with another name that had just shown up like a day or two before in conjunction with the sale online. And I was like, it struck me as like, did he just use that second person's name it stuck out as a realtor? Like, did he lie about that too? Like, so who knows if he actually had walked the property? Because I'll tell you, there was a lot of days there, and I don't know how they would get past the dogs things, but they did. I still have no idea. They took pictures of our property without our dogs in them, but they did. They must carry I don't know. But the point is, I highly doubt it. Honestly, I think it was just another lie. But that's just my opinion. It was a very strange thing. But for me, he's probably one of the lowest on my list. That's how I feel about it. And he's not wrong, and I really do enjoy his Ben Hill term. I've now adopted it. I'm using it too. So, thanks, JD. Anyway, I will be back in just a minute.